Hi, and welcome to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement specialist. Hello, Susan. It's always good to see you, and I hope your holidays were lovely.
Thank you, Lisa. It's wonderful to see you. And yes, my Easter was great with my boys. I appreciate that. My name is Susan Capurso, End of Life Doula, Legacy Specialist. And today we're talking about a subject that's really relevant for everybody. I was just telling Lisa this because we were talking about her friend in her late 90s. And I said, but really the topic we're talking about today can go for somebody in their 50s,
Yes.
really, who's struggling with the idea of aging. And it's not where you're aging, it's how you're aging on the inside, right? Not so much on the outside because we're all aging on the outside. That's inevitable. We will all die. These are the things Lisa and I talk about. It's aging on the inside, in your heart, in your body, but you really your mind and your soul.
That's right.
And these things are really, really important. So we just wanted to touch on a few of them today with you because this is a subject for everybody.
It is.
So
It is. Um,
we were looking into a few things over the weekend, Lisa,
yeah,
and
I'm going to tell you how. Yeah, I'm going
yeah,
to tell you how this started. Sometimes
wonderful.
just things come in, and it just so happens that it's like the moment. So we're sitting around one of our holiday tables, and a number of people were talking about their elderly parents. And more and more people are living to longer and longer ages. So the longest at the table was our friend Steve, whose mother's going to be 102 in September. That's like an incredible number. Just
Yeah.
crazy number. And the other person was talking about her mother, who's 93. And I was talking about the person who I visit. This was my mom's best friend in life. And she's 96. My parents have been gone many years. So she is sort of, that very special person in my life. She didn't have any daughters, so I'm it. I see her once a week, and she looks forward to my visits. And then I have a cousin who's going to be 101 next October. I have an uncle who's going to be 93 in May, and an aunt who's going to be 96. So it's
Wow.
amazing that these numbers are in front of us like this, and people are living longer. And that means that the way they live and how we as children or as relatives or as friends respond to them is so important. So important. So I'll just give you a typical conversation that I have with my friend Irma every day. Number one, she has dementia. Now, Alzheimer's is a little different because the personality changes and they become angry and all. She just can't remember. She has no short-term memory. So if I call up, we will have the same conversation every single day. She will ask me where I am. She will ask me how I'm doing. She'll ask me when I'm going to see her. And she doesn't remember any of the things I've just told her, but we have that conversation. She perks up. And when I spend the day with her, she absolutely perks up. I do things with her that help her to feel more grounded. She knows that she's not the same person. She says to me, I'm not the old Irma I was. That's what she says to me. And I say to her, I know that, Irma, and I know how hard it must be for you. So part of the empathy and part of understanding that they are lost and they feel very frustrated that they can't do what they used to do and many of their friends are gone and they feel lonely. It's very difficult. And these are very difficult times for them. So you bring the moments of joy for them. When she and I are playing Rummy Cube, we're playing Scrabble, which she can still play with me. Or if we're looking through photos, or I bring videos of different parties that she was at. Those things really delight her for the moment. She's tired. She sleeps a lot. But, so those moments of joy, and there are books about this. There is something called Creating Moments of Joy, and it is for people with dementia and Alzheimer's and helps you figure out how to reach those people. You cannot reach them at your stage. If I've heard people say, well, my husband's coming home at whatever, and you can't say to them, no, you don't have a husband anymore at certain stages. You need to say, well, I'm sure he'll be home later. And I know it feels like you're lying to them, but the thing is they don't remember anyway. They just live in their world. And so
But,
part of it's hard. It's very hard.
but to clarify, we're not just talking about aging with a person in our lives that has dementia and Alzheimer's. We're talking about aging through every
Correct.
stage,
Correct.
whether you're
Correct.
50, 60, 70, 80, 90.
Correct. Correct. We're going to
So
get, yes,
this
we're
is your
getting to,
story, right?
we're
That
getting to the
that's happening
psychology
right
of
now
growing
with
old.
Irma.
We're getting there.
Okay,
We're getting to the psychology of
okay.
growing old. But the discussion at the table was, how do we deal with our elderly, parents, and figure out how to bring them any moments of joy and accept that they're living the best life that they can live at this point. Do the best you can for them, love them, show them photos, understand and try to accept the way
Yeah.
they are at this point in their lives. And so
Yeah, and
that's,
that's a beautiful example of you with Irma.
yes, it is. It is. Um, and by the way, my uncle, who doesn't like any technology, I figured out finally how to get pictures to him. I have a postcard app, and once a month I send updated pictures of my grandchildren, of me, of Stu, things that he will enjoy. And he really looks forward to that because he doesn't know how to open pictures on his phone. Yeah, I don't want to print out pictures and send it to him. So he really likes these postcards. And you can do collage postcards so he can have 6 pictures on it. And he loves seeing the updates. So that's something that I have figured out with him that he enjoys.
And you mail that to him
And it's
each month?
mailed. It's called
Okay.
mypostcard.com and it's automatically mailed. It's $3.19 each time. There I have an address book, so I just check off his address. There's a text area in the postcard that I can put in my note, and on the other side is the pictures I add electronically.
Oh, that's nice. That's
It's
a really
great.
good resource. Yeah.
It's great. It's a great resource. And I
Yeah.
do a lot of memory books. I do a lot of Shutterfly books, and there's other books, that you can do. But things that people will remember. I've done a lot of books for Irma. By the way, for Irma, I've done legacy books as well, which I know that's, your area. But at least people will feel like they have something that they can leave about their lives. So,
Okay. Now
okay,
let's talk about the
growing
feelings
old.
of aging.
Growing old. Yes. I want to say something really interesting because it's our crazy society. Other societies really respect and revere people as they're growing older and older people in general. So I did this like little Google and I said growing old. And you know what came up? Wrinkle cream, hair replacement, um, body things. That's the first thing
Yeah.
that came up until I went to the psychology of growing old. And then I got the right information. But it is interesting that we in our society don't want to
Associate.
grow
Yeah.
old. That's a problem. That's a big problem. It's almost like when people say to me, well, don't ask me how old I am. To me, I'm really proud that I'm at this age. I mean, I'm older than my two mother, well, my biological mother. I'm older than my father. I'm older than my husband. I'm not older yet than my adopted mom, but I'm proud to be older. And each birthday I celebrate shows that I'm still alive. So I don't really understand all these other people who don't want to admit that they're getting older. You know,
Well, you don't understand it, but
I
a
know,
majority of people are like that, Lisa.
I know that. I know that. So I'm going
You
to refer
know,
to this really neat book, Becca Levy, and it's called How Your Belief System Affects Your Aging, and How Well You Age. Really interesting book. It's called Breaking the Code, and it's all about how you think about growing older. So she, with all her studies and all from Yale University, says that people's beliefs about aging have a profound effect on their health, influencing everything from their memory and sensory perceptions to how well they walk, how fully they recover from disabling illness, and how long they live. I believe that.
I do too.
When views are positive, so people end up more alert, they're wise, they feel more creative, and they're likely to be more resilient because they have a stronger will to live.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all about positivity, right? And
that's
of
right.
course, listen, our beliefs come from many things. How we were raised, right? What we see, the people who we're around. I mean, many different things. But
It absolutely is because, we all have such different personalities. So, as positive as the person that I think I am, when I
yes,
hang around my sister-in-law, oh, I don't have anything compared to what she has. She's always the power of positivity and light. And oh, I wish I could strive to be that positive in my life. But I did read something this morning. I was looking for a little material for today. And the book, the paragraph I was reading hit home because it really said that, we do hit different milestones that will show our age. Okay. For
right.
example, it gave one example that, you don't wear those tight blue jeans anymore that you always wore, whether they were loose or tight or whatever. Sometimes those stretchy pants are
Yes,
a little bit easier to come on and off, and you could still dress that, but you can dress that up, and you could still wear beautiful clothes and
yes,
shoes and to dress that up. But when little milestones like that happen in your life, instead of resenting it and feel like, well, it's because I'm aging and I'm getting old, and watch your words, get
yes,
rid of that mindset and embrace that part of, well, okay, this is the next chapter. This is the next chapter. I know I can't do that anymore. I need to do this. These are the changes that have happened, and know that about yourself and try and embrace those little things, I think.
that's right.
I
That's
think
right.
that's important.
It is. I I saw something that's really shocking. I have to read this. In an early study, we found that people with positive age beliefs live longer, a median of 7.5 additional years. That's huge compared to those with negative beliefs. I mean, that's huge. And that's all
Yeah,
about being positive.
yeah,
And it's hard to change your beliefs. I get that. But the thing is, you need some strategies, you know, to
yeah.
to look at your life.
You do. And you also, part of that, I think, a lot of people spend a lot of time in their homes, right? So I
Yes.
know that just being outside and getting outside of your space and
Yeah.
getting in nature is a big part of that. It can change your whole mindset and your attitude for the day. So trying to think outside the box a little bit, trying to think differently, trying to be around those friends who are a little bit more positive in
Yes.
your life can help you to feel that way. Face it, we're not all born positive Nellies. A
Hmm.
lot of things have happened to a lot of people in life that leave you with past histories and past stories that really, like, why is this happening to me? Why is the world this way? And kind of makes you see the world in a darker perspective than other people. You
Yeah.
know, everybody has a different degree to how happy they are or positive or how inspiring and light the world is. And it's okay if your degree is not like her degree, but you need to really try and expand your own little circle to bring that more positive and happiness in. And I think when you can do that and find the things that you really, really enjoy, becoming an entrepreneur, I have to say, I'll admit it. I think that I've lost some of the loves that the pure joys, the things that I used to love doing. I've kind of forgot what they are. I have to make a new list because I don't have time to spend with those new joys and the things that I used to love doing.
Hmm.
And because I'm always busy, I'm always, looking for more work and things that are keeping me on that never ending gerbil wheel, right? But I think if you look, Lisa, and you really try and remember what brought you more joy and incorporate those things into your life, you'll age in a better way.
Yes.
You'll age because you'll be finding those things you just love to do,
Yeah.
and you'll
Yeah.
be a happier person overall,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of my friends are retired and they find things that are meaningful to them. Some of them volunteer, they make meaningful contributions, or they feel that they want to be political and maybe make changes for the future generations. They find things that are meaningful to them, that make them feel purposeful, The other thing is the intergenerational thing. It's interesting. They encourage people to have as many intergenerational contacts as possible
Mm.
because it really helps you, you obviously being with other people of different ages, but the person being with other people, like, brightening up their day and telling them about what you're doing and all. It keeps them young. It keeps them,
Mentally and emotionally. I
yes,
have no
yes.
grandchildren right now. My boys are, well, they're growing, but they're a little younger. Um, but my friend across the street has the two little ones that I talk
Yes,
about. And I can't even tell you, I haven't been around babies in my family, and they're a year and 2.5 years old. And the pure joy that I have, even with talking to her, she's in her 30s, so
yeah,
she's younger than me, but it's like, I hear different things now that they're doing with babies,
yes,
right, in the
yeah,
world, and noise machines and swaddling and things that we didn't do. I was talking about my sister to my sister-in-law yesterday. We had glass bottles and diapers, that cloth diapers that we washed. Okay, so things have changed in that ways. What Lisa's saying, I think, is that it's really interesting to learn about the new ways that they're doing things and new innovative ways, because it keeps our mind sharp and going and growing and learning and all that good stuff.
yeah. Another example that they said was to think about some positive role models that are aging. You look at somebody like Jane Fonda, who has reinvented herself, I don't know how many times. She's 82, I think. And the last movie that I saw her in was 80 for Brady. And those four women are amazing. I can't even remember all their names now. I should, because they're great women. But you look at them and they're all in their like low 80s. And they've reinvented themselves and still become as current and as wonderful as they ever were. Just gifted, wonderful, happy people to be, doing their craft. They love acting, they love performing, and they do it beautifully, and they're having fun. They're just having fun.
And now,
So,
before you get to that point in life where you're older and your children are moving you into an assisted living now or
uh-huh,
whatever, right?
uh-huh.
So we have these thoughts about, okay, so what will happen as we age? Now, I happen to be, I'm single. My sister-in-law happens to be single, and we also have choices as we age, thinking about, no, I want to stay home. A lot of people do that.
Yes, yes, they
Want to
do.
just stay in my house and stay safe and
Yes,
stay in my
yes,
surroundings, when
yes,
that's not always the wise thing,
right.
because you are alone a lot
Yes,
and you're not getting that mental and
right.
physical and emotional stimulation that you could be
Yes,
in a community like
yes,
the one that you go to in Florida now, or in, my sister-in-law. I have, her daughter is 22 now, or 23, times flying. But we even talk about, well, when it gets to that point and we're ready to leave our homes, hey, let's live like the Golden Girls. Let's get a house with a few people, big enough to where we have our own space, but there's always somebody around, and the expenses will be less, and we'll have fun and joy and positivity. And it's funny, but I read something recently that a lot of women specifically are doing just that, because it does provide you more stimulation and living younger, while you can, versus being enclosed in that safe space where you don't see many people on a weekly basis,
yeah, which is my
right?
aunt and uncle. They just won't leave. They don't want to
Yeah.
leave. They don't want to have people come in. They're pretty set in their ways. So I'm glad you pointed out now, because especially for people like us, I'm turning 70 next year. And, again, you think about, so what's my next stage? What's my next chapter? I'm a tiny house person. I love these tiny homes. I think they're great. And I read about
Well,
tiny
you're a tiny
community.
person. You're a tiny person that can fit in a tiny house, Lisa.
No, I think my photo albums will never fit in that tiny house.
No, that's right. They won't.
But I will say that I read about a tiny house community that's only for seniors. And it has sort of a clubhouse thing with activities, but all the tiny homes so that they're affordable and that they're easy to take care of and all that stuff are right in this like community. It's very cool. Very cool.
Where is that?
I don't remember. I do not remember. But if you look up tiny house senior community, it comes up. I'm always
Yeah, I know
watching
they have
these
one in
things.
Connecticut,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about.
But communities, that's true. And in fact, the community that she was talking about that I go to is the Villages, which is the largest planned community for over 55 in the country. You know, the Villages is 81 villages. That's all independent houses if people want to live in an independent house. But the thing is, there's 3,600 clubs and the town squares, which have music every night and bands and stuff. I mean, you know, again, depends upon how you see your life and how active you see your life. And there's also people who, you know, have a mate who may not be as active as you. So now, you know, what do you do and what do they do? And, you know, it's a balancing thing because you don't know how you're going to grow older and together. And you have to pursue. I always go to clubs, you know, and Stu, my partner, you know, isn't interested in some of them. So I go along. I mean, I do a lot of
Yeah,
sewing and I love contributing. I love the fact that they have all kinds of organizations there that, you know, donate to everything. So I love that. And then we share and do things together. But I do think you need to find those that happiness and continue to always reinvent yourself and be open to change because things do change.
yeah,
And if you're
yeah, it's
not,
inevitable and change is really scary.
it is
But
scary.
maybe you need to embrace the change.
Yep. Yep.
And be excited about it and think, wow, this can open whole new doors of possibilities for me.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I was just thinking, it's scary. I do know a lot of women on Long Island here who are widows. I really do. And it's frightening to think that, you know, that you think about as you age, maybe you don't have a spouse or you're not with somebody. So what will happen and who will take care of me? And for example, I was telling you earlier, a friend of mine who's been in the hospital for 10 days and she doesn't have any children. And she's had a great, great friend support system around her. So great that, that we're planning out through chats on our phone, who goes what time and what day so that she always has a friend there and an advocate. And she
Mhm.
knows it. She says it all the time, how blessed and absolutely grateful she feels to have this. But, I don't have as big a circle as she does. I mean, she's very famous in what she does on Long Island and nationwide. I don't have that big a circle of friends. So, while I'm there and we're planning out the schedule, I'm sitting in her room and I'm texting, and the thought came over my head that, oh, well, what if something happens to me one day?
Yeah, that's
Who
right.
will, who will,
Mhm.
will I have this support system? Will people come check on me? Oh, maybe my boys would find me 3 days later if they came looking at me to ask a question or something, but people think of that when you're alone. So as we age, these are new things to think about. Now,
Yes.
you were right in saying that our baby boomer population is here, and it's the biggest
Yes, it
that
is.
we've ever had in
Correct.
our history,
Correct.
right? So there are so many things out there that I see. I have one friend, if you Google uh, 45 Forward has a radio show, and it's all about seniors and different resources and who we can go to for this and for that and ideas and things like we're talking about today. That is specifically what he does, right? But so do so many other people. There's books out like the beautiful one. I'm liking the book that you have. I think I want to read that, Lisa.
Mm.
But that book, um, and support groups and activities and events and information and education. There's more of that out now. I know a friend who just goes around to whether it's senior centers, libraries, everything, and teaches you about the possibilities of senior fraud and things
Mm,
that can go wrong on your phone or people calling your house. And so I've been around a lot of those circles now where there is so much of it out there, but you have to look.
you do.
You have
You
to
do.
ask questions, you have to talk to people and get out there a little bit to find this information out because it's not going to knock on your door.
That's right.
I
That's
know
right.
that, right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah, it's true. And there are patient advocates who also can help you along with medical issues and trying to make sure you're safe at home, and just try to live your life as fully as possible. Yeah. So
Right.
I, I know I can't change people's minds, but how beautiful it is that we actually have the option of getting older, and how many people that I
Privilege,
know never
the
got
honor.
that chance. Okay, never got that chance. And I personally am so grateful to be here and to be alive and to just be able to live through my life. I never thought I would turn 70, not in a million years. And so I look at aging in a very different way than most of my friends do. Um, I still color my hair, and I didn't think I would when my husband died. That's like the first thing people had me do. They wanted me to color my hair. I don't know why, but I do it. Um, I'm fine either way about it, but people like it colored, so I color it. But I don't do all kinds of other things that other people are doing. Listen, keeping healthy is important. Watching, what you eat and what you do and all that stuff, and keeping healthy is very important. But you got to live life. You got to enjoy life. You got to live every moment as a precious moment. That,
Tomorrow's not promised. My husband didn't think he would live till 52 and not wake up anymore.
yeah,
You know, it's not promised. So
that's right.
enjoy the things that you can find that you love.
Yes.
Yesterday, my son actually said, "Don't worry, Mom. I know you haven't been feeling well." He was making brunch.
Mm.
Everything, he shopped for everything.
Wow.
He went to Costco. He has an apartment on the other side of my house, so I rarely see him. But he went to Costco, shopped, made everything, and then brought everything in. All I did was make a pretty, pretty table for the holiday. It was
Oh,
really pretty.
wonderful.
And when I was done making this, I went and I sat in the chair in the living room. I put some classical harp music on
Uh-huh.
because I love the harp. And I
Okay.
just sat there for a minute and I said, when has this ever happened in his 30 years that 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 I didn't make a holiday dinner?
Nice.
And then the best part was after they put it all out and the girlfriends were here and this and that is that they all got up and cleaned up.
Wow. Very nice. You deserve it. What can I say? But that's
Oh my
very
God.
nice.
I
Very
love
nice.
that. And that's rare. I do know it's rare. That doesn't happen in every house, but I
Good.
really enjoyed that,
Yeah, I
you
bet.
know. But I enjoyed what I'm saying is I loved listening to the music on a Sunday. On a Sunday, I try and listen to some more spiritual music, even if it's Enya that you put on,
Uh-huh.
something a little different than the TV and the things that you usually listen
Yeah.
to, right?
Yeah.
So find those little joys in your life that just make you happy.
And
And
I want to go back to our elderly parents or relatives, and we need to try and give them whatever moments of joy they can have, and understand that they're doing the best they can. And as we age, we're going backwards. And so when they say the same thing, don't say, "Oh, you just told me that." It's like when we were parents and our children were saying the same thing over and over. Listen, my daughter would ask to see The Sound of Music, I don't know, 20 times, and I saw
mine,
it with her and I watched it every time. So
I
it's the
did too.
same thing when she wants to look at the album and she's looking at that same picture again and again and again. And, you're thinking, oh my goodness, can I just look at this album again? What am I going to do? You just have to have that patience and that sense of just understanding and love for the people who took care of you, who were there for you, who loved you, and in their own way, they're doing the best they can. And that's the
And,
best
and
advice that
again,
I have.
And again, reach out to the so many different kinds of resources in the
Yes.
world
Yes.
to help you get through the aging process. Again, whether you're in your 50s, some people in their 50s are having a real hard, challenging time with health and
Yeah.
emotions and challenges that have happened to them for the past 50 years of their life and can't come wrap their head around it, can't come full circle around the past,
Yeah.
you know? So I would say from your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, no matter how long you're blessed enough to live, there are aging challenges in every decade.
Sure.
So just know that, embrace the little differences and the little changes that come in and say,
Hmm.
okay, I've got this, I can deal with this. And then try and bring in the more positive things in your world, including people and education and music and nature
Yes.
and all of the little things that you can bring in that will make you a happier person,
And stay
right?
around positive people because that positivity rubs off on you too. It's
You know,
important to find those people.
you know what memory just popped into my head,
What?
Lisa? Do you remember when we were little? And back then, when I was little, our parents weren't allowed to, afraid to let us go out and just go
True.
out and be out,
True.
right?
Yes.
And they'd
Yes.
say, come in when you hear the bell, or 5 o'clock for dinner, and we
No, it's
knew
me
we
when it
had to
gets
be,
dark. When it gets dark.
or when it gets dark,
Yeah.
right? But we
Yeah.
we knew the rule, and we played with our friends all day, and we got dirty, and we did
Did.
things. And I kind of am. Do you remember how good it felt? It felt good to go home after that full day of being out because you had so much fun that now you could just go home and relax and say, that was
Yes.
really fun today with my
Yes.
friends, played and okay. So now I'm relating that kind of as we age. And it's really true. Think about a day that we have that's really busy. Not so much, I'm not talking about work related because I have busy work related days, and you get home and you just want to take everything off and just relax and unwind. I'm talking about I had a day the other day that was kind of interesting. I had to go to a fabric store for something, but then I ran into Costco and then I'm like, you know what? I have time today and I'm really looking for something in particular for my blood sugar now. So I ran to Costco and I just went, not Costco, Whole Foods. And it was 8 miles away. But I was like, you know what? It's so sunny and beautiful. And I put my audiobook on in the car. I drove to Whole Foods and I went in and got that. Then I went to a different type of store because I needed something there. But I took my time and I kind of embraced all the moments going through the day
Nice.
and
Nice.
just saying, I'm going to do this relax. Not like you get up Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about running to Costco, getting what you need, running in the like not like that. But I was out till maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock doing the things I was doing. And by the time you get home, wow, did you accomplish a lot? Now, maybe you can't get in the car and drive as you're aging and you can't take yourself to all these places. Well, then guess what? It's up to you to find somebody who can,
That's right.
right? Let's
That's
take a
right.
ride by the beach. Let's go and pack a little picnic lunch and take a ride here and listen to music and run into
Hmm.
the store. And you need to set these things up yourself because nobody really thinks of doing it for you.
It's true.
In some respect, we're all on our own in this world, no matter what age we are. And we have to pull those good things into our life as often as we can.
Yes. I think what I hear you saying is your determination is your life. What you decide, how you put it together is the way you live. And that autonomy is honestly very freeing. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to make a decision, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. This is going to fill my time. This is who I want to see. This is where I want to go. That is such that's really strength. That's so independent, freedom. It's really wonderful to embrace that.
It is, Lisa. And I also spend a lot of time with the different meetings and all in assisted livings. Okay. So we're talking about even a different population. However, there are things that you can do as a resident in an assisted living
Yes.
to keep yourself busy all day, whether
Yeah.
it's making a different plan every day to go and spend time with this one, or to help her start that project, or to go outside in the gardens and listen to your favorite book or read your favorite book. You can change up your days that way, and that's going to bring the happiness in instead of just being miserable and sitting in the dining room for dinner and then going back to your room,
There's also
right?
so many activities depending upon the
Yeah,
place,
right,
you know?
right.
So, again, it's your personal life. Can't make anybody live differently, but I think that if we just try to educate people that this is how they're going to live, and that positive attitude will really help them live a more fulfilling, happy life, and enjoy the process more.
Yeah.
It's not I
Sometimes we
dread
can't
getting
change our
older.
circumstance. We
Yeah,
can't change our
that's
surroundings.
right.
Sometimes maybe
That's
that's
right.
not doable, but you can change your own mindset
It's
on
true.
what you do in those surroundings,
It's true.
or leaving your surroundings and coming back to them, or painting that black room white and getting rid of all the clutter. And,
Yes,
just silly things like that can really bring a lot to your life.
it's true. It's true. So hopefully this was helpful to people, again, people who are aging, people who are dealing with aged parents, and just the whole process of getting older.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we got to cover at least both a little bit because
Me too.
we're in that generation now where kind of started the baby boomers already, and they're living till your friend is 102 years old, and that's amazing.
It is
This is
amazing.
a, this is a big span of a generation now,
Huge.
and so many new things are out there and happening. So we just have
Yes.
to be aware of them and look for them.
Yes. Yes. Great.
So in your spare time, Lisa, what have you been doing lately?
Talking about parents, I'm really looking forward to an honoring parenthood on May 31st with Cope Foundation. It's going to be an online Zoom kind of presentation, and it will be really talking about the memories and talking about legacies that our parents or even our spouses who were parents leave for the future. So I'm looking forward to that. And I actually had a little support group from the holidays, and we're getting together again just to check in and say hello, which is kind of nice. So, I look forward to those things. Yeah. And
Very
you?
nice.
What have you been up to?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Continuing my doula work and legacy work and helping people leave their stories and memories for future generations is really, really important. Um, and, always reach out to me. I have gift certificates. Most older parents won't be looking for something like this. There are a few in there that say, no, I have to get this done, but the majority, oh, who cares? Who wants to hear my story now? So I'm really contacted mostly by, believe it or not, nieces and nephews and
Mm,
and children and grandchildren who want to gift this to the older generations in their family because they realize the importance of
yes.
legacy and history and their ancestors. So I do a lot about with that work. So you can go onto my website. It's there, East End Doula Care or susancapurso.com, and read all about that. And
Nice.
this was wonderful today,
Yes, it
Lisa.
was. It was.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation. And actually, it shouldn't be an ending last. It should be a lasting conversation. We should
Yes.
do
It's an
this every
ongoing
once in a
conversation.
while throughout the year because of so many new technologies and different things that we learn about all the
Yes.
time that we can pass on to you.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
thank you very much for,
we have especially welcome comments and suggestions or anything that people
yeah,
come up with. That also is very
yeah.
helpful to
And
us.
please, like our page, but
Yeah.
but share it with friends
Yeah.
on specific topics. I was with a friend in the hospital the other day, and curtain was closed, but the lady that was sitting on the other side heard us talking about something. I may have even brought up the subject that we talked about last week, Lisa, and I was just telling her about that. So right away she goes, "Oh, and what channel is that on YouTube? Can you show me how to find that?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are people that just don't know. And a
Yes.
lot of the information that we're giving here, we don't have we don't do the ads, and we don't have
Yes,
sponsors. We're doing this solely, Lisa and I, for pure education, and growth and support for families and individuals and families. So I walked
yes.
next door and I pulled it up on YouTube. Oh, and I liked our page for her.
Good.
She was so happy, so she could see all the coming videos. But
Yeah,
yeah, and if you have any questions or suggestions for future shows, please reach out. And
yes.
we're so happy you joined us today, and we'll see you again next week.
Yep. Thank you. Take good care,
Bye, Lisa.
everybody. Okay. Bye-bye.